That's your cue, Charles.
Yeah, I know. I guess way to start it off.
Way to
After
start
this
it off,
comment.
dude. Gee,
Whoa. Oh my
all
goodness.
right,
All right. It's
take three.
time to breathe again. As you can see, Patrick and I are back together for the first breath of fresh air webcast in a while. It's good to be back with y'all. See all y'all smiling faces, and then you can see all of our smiling
Yeah,
faces,
yeah.
or both of ours. So, man, hey, Patrick, man, any words before we get on with the show?
You want me to do my whole shorty thing?
Get it.
All right.
Well, you got to cut it
Before we
off to
get
like
started,
a minute.
huh?
You got to cut it to like a minute since we got a lot of show left.
Okay, okay. Before we get started, you gotta smash that subscribe button. Let us know what we're doing good, bad, ugly, don't matter. Leave the comments because we ready for them. So bring it. Oh, and so you mentioned one of the topics. You got to mention one of the topics, Charles.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So,
Just one.
well, we got a bunch of topics to talk about since we're gonna be
Well,
doing.
let's do this. NFL, NCAA, and Astros. Of course, you're under the microscope. Let's get it.
Let's get it. That's what's up. Well, hey, before we start, like I said, we are very, very happy to be back on this webcast together, man. And hopefully, we won't have any more hiccups. We are here. We're coming. We're bringing it. So, we're glad to be back. Let's get started.
Let's
And
just not
like
bring it
Patrick,
like the Astros.
yep. And like what Patrick said, uh, we're ready for any comments or feedback you have, good, bad, or indifferent. So, Patrick, let's start with that first topic, man. Major League Baseball went ahead, came down with the hammer on the Houston Astros. And of course, it lingered throughout the week. So, we got the Houston Astros, their general manager, Jeff Luhnow, gone for a year. AJ Hinch, the manager, gone for a year. The owner for the Astros, Jim Crane, decided to just let them go all together. So there's the situation with the Astros. Fast forward to Tuesday, the Boston Red Sox decided to get rid of manager Alex Cora, who is known pretty much, according to the statement Major League Baseball made, as the ringleader of this whole sign stealing scandal that went on. And also, the Red Sox are also being investigated. So we'll definitely talk about Cora, of course, but he's gone as the Red Sox manager, and he might have more coming on his plate. And then Thursday, the Mets, the New York Mets, which I mean they're a mess anyway, but whatever. That's another story. Carlos Beltran, he got part. They mutually parted ways, I guess. They're gone. He's
After
out.
2 months of work.
I know. And probably got 7 figures for 2 months of work.
Yeah, probably.
Um, so he's out as Mets manager. Now, the thing with the Mets that's pretty interesting is when Carlos Beltran, now he's the only player listed in this, but Rob Manfred made it clear they're not necessarily going after players. So the Mets probably could have fought this a little bit more than what the Astros or Red Sox can do, but I'm sure Major League Baseball said, dude, you gotta go. So, so Patrick, about everything that's going on with this, what are your thoughts? Just your initial thoughts of everything that has happened with the scandal.
Bro, uh, look, there's so much that happened in this whole scandal thing over the past 2 years, and now it's just now getting brought out to the public. My first thing is, dude, the rules are simple. The rules were the rules. Why do you not care what the rules state? And Houston made that blatantly obvious, a blatant disrespect in MLB's house. Point blank, the warning was there. First initial thought, get out. Get out of my house. You breaking my rules, get out of the house. I ain't got time for that crap. I don't know what else to say. Other than Carlos Beltran just got 2 months worth of work and now he's fired. Way to go, bro. Way to go.
You know, Patrick, and here's the thing, man. You Major League Baseball, I think this is key for everybody to know. They have been through a lot in the last, I say, 2 decades or so. And ever since the steroid era took place, they have made an effort to clean up the sport. That is the main thing they wanted to do, was to clean everything up. And it wasn't just everything about steroids and PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. It was all around cleanup. And I guess the sign stealing thing is one of those aspects they're trying to clean up. Now, of course, you being the big baseball fan, you probably know better than anybody, definitely anybody that I know, that sign stealing is part of the game and it's universally accepted within the baseball realm. But Rob Manfred made it clear in 2017 when he hit the Red Sox up with a fine, or I don't know the exact punishment that happened, but basically I think they got a pretty hefty fine when they were caught using Apple Watches to try to steal signs. That was back in 2017. So of course, the Astros, 2017 was when they won the World Series. This was a big deal with them, seeing how they did win the World Series, and the sign stealing scandal pretty much centered around that season. And the Red Sox next year, they won it. They're being investigated for when they won the World Series. Alex Cora was on both of those staffs. Of course, he's the manager of the Red Sox, but he was a bench coach for the Astros. And I think with the thing about not using technology to steal these signs, that was made clear, and the Astros did it anyway. So
Didn't care. And sorry, my nose is itching. They just don't care. But see, this is the thing. Right? Going back on what you were saying, sign stealing is part of the game. Yeah, it's always been part of the game. I mean, ever since baseball was pretty much invented. I mean, you're always looking at ways to gain the advantage against the opponent, right? I mean, I did it when I played travel ball. I played it when I played in high school. I played when I was playing stuff overseas, and I mean, it's just part of the game. I do it in the men's league that I play in now. But I mean, it's simple. I mean, if they're going to give me a sign, I'm not just going to turn my head away. I'm going to look, and if I can figure it out, yeah, I'm going to let my teammates know. Am I going to use my Fitbit? No. Am I going to take pictures with my phone? No. I'm going to see with my eyes. Hey, bro, it's a fastball coming because it's just the number one at his crotch. Yeah, it's a fastball, bro. I'm going to let you know. I'm not gonna just turn my head. Oh. No, come on. Nobody's doing that crap. Now, for the Astros, when they use technology, man, that's just blatant disrespect for MLB's house. Like I said, man, I mean, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. And if you're, I mean, you could do it. I mean, I don't have a problem with you stealing signs. The problem is don't use technology to do it. Don't gain the advantage because you have money at disposal. Just do it the old-fashioned way and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. Simple as that.
And another thing with that also, Patrick, so with the sign stealing, it is the managers and the general managers or a coach in whatever other sport, whether it be football, basketball, whatever the sport is, to make sure these signs are covered, because you do have people who are going to be out there, they're trying to steal signs. That's just what they do. They're trying to look for any edge possible to get ahead, to get any type of an advantage. So you got to find a way to cover these bad boys up. And the reason why you're using different signs anyway is so the other team can't find a way to get a hold of them and use it. It's just like what you were telling me yesterday. Why do you lock your doors? Because yeah.
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, why do you lock the doors? You assume somebody's going to try to break in your house.
And you want to be safe just in case. Why do you lock the doors to your car? Because you don't want your car to get broken into. And why do you wear a condom? You have sex because you're not trying to catch anything or you're not trying to get any woman pregnant. So you use these signs to try to disguise things so a team can't get used to it. It is up to those managers and the general managers to cover them so you don't have something like a video kept popping up or a team like what I guess the Astros are doing using video screens and using different cameras or whatever the case. So that's why you do
pop up like Odell Beckham Jr. in a hot tub.
Right. We will get to Odell Beckham in a minute. So,
sorry, I forgot. I bring him up.
That is one of our topics.
Video, man, it's too funny, man.
That is one of our topics that we will cover a little bit later. So, but real quick, Patrick, to kind of keep everything rolling with this sign stealing scandal thing, what do you think the punishment for Alex Cora is going to be? Because AJ Hinch and that general manager Lou now for the Astros, they got a year. How much do you think Cora is getting?
I mean, personally, I think he's probably going to get 2 or 3 years. Looking at what he's done, looking at what the involvement was for him at both teams with the Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros, I think he's probably going to get 2 years, possibly a third. But don't get that twisted at all. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if he gets a lifetime ban. 2 teams spread over 2 organizations in a major organization like MLB. Dude, MLB
and won World Series titles in both of those.
And both won World Series titles. So I mean, I don't see them taking away a World Series title from either one of those teams, regardless of sign stealing, whether you use technology or not. The thing is you still got to hit a 94, 95, 96, 97 mile an hour fastball with a little piece of wood. So no matter how much sign stealing you do, or how much cheating with PEDs you do, you still got to have the hand-eye coordination to hit the ball. So I don't see them taking anything away from them. But I do see Cora going down hard for this. I mean, 2 years maximum lifetime ban.
Yeah, I can see a lifetime ban myself, but I'm with you on that. I think it'll be about 2 to 3 years. But man, if he did get hit with a lifetime ban, I would not be surprised at all because, like I said, Major League Baseball, and to me, that's the biggest story of everything. Now, you can
look at it from this point. Sorry to cut you off, but look at it from this point. There was 2 women that showed their breast on national TV, and they got a lifetime ban. They just showed their boobs. That was it. This dude's like legitimately cheating, and I mean, come on. If he really wants to get banned from the MLB, just lift his shirt. Just lift your shirt, bro. If you really want to get banned. If you don't want to get banned, just do a lot of cheating. But if you really want to get banned, just lift your shirt. You'll get banned.
And honestly, I don't even know if he'll get banned. Man boobs. I don't think he'll get banned.
Man boobs. They're probably like, ooh, we're gonna give you a bonus. It wouldn't surprise me. But no, I mean, on a serious note, man, he'll probably get 2 or 3 years, but it wouldn't surprise me for the ban.
And the main thing, Patrick, you could talk about the sign stealing. You could talk about everything that's going on with that. How three managers on 3. I mean, let's go big market teams. I mean, the Astros, big market. Red Sox, big market. Mets, obviously, big market. In a week, all these managers are gone. And the teams are looking for replacements. But the major thing out of this is Major League Baseball is sending a statement here. They are very serious about cleaning the sport up. And Rob Manfred is leaving nothing unturned here. This is investigation they were thorough with it, and they hit people. Not a Mickey Mouse investigation like the NFL or the NCAA do. This was major. They did their thing. They looked at it, and they made the punishment. They made their statement. And another thing about this is it's during their off season. So it's not dragging into the season where it could take away from where the action honestly should be on the field.
Yeah.
That should be the story. So, I mean, other than that, Patrick, you have anything else to add to it?
No, I think we covered that pretty well.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, let's move on to the college football playoff national championship game. We saw LSU finish a season undefeated, 15-0 record, beat Clemson, who had won 29 in a row coming into that game. 42-25 was the final score. Joe Burrow, as he has been all year, just ridiculous, man. 60 touchdown passes he threw this year. That's 4 a game. He literally threw 4 touchdown passes a game on average. And I mean, to me, Patrick, I think the game went pretty much how I thought. I thought it'd be a little bit closer, but I just felt in the grand scheme of things, LSU was the better team. And you know that's pretty different for me, Patrick, because I'm normally the person who says, well, the experience will win out. And Clemson had been there in the national championship game. What? Let's see, going back to 2016. Yeah, this is their 3rd championship game they've been in the last 4. No, is it 1? Yeah, no, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and 5 years they've been to.
Because they won
2 against Bama or 3 against Bama, and then this one.
Mm-hmm.
So Clemson has obviously been there. This is LSU's first time back there in a little while. I think since 2011, that season when they got beat by Alabama. But I just felt like LSU was the better team, and I know you did too. So, I mean, my thoughts are, hey, better team won, man. What do you think?
It was Joe Burrow, man. Dude threw for 75% on the year. That's unheard of. He broke the single season record, 2 touchdowns. He threw 7 touchdowns in the first half against Oklahoma. I know you were happy about that.
Very.
Dude,
very.
what did this kid not do? You know what I'm saying? What did he not do? He took care of the ball. I mean, like, it was just a season that was built for LSU and Joe Burrow. That's all it was. I mean, you got your offensive coordinator coming in from the Saints, bringing a Saints offense, and who better to run a Saints offense than a kid that idolized Drew Brees for his entire life, so knows pretty much everything about that kind of offense. And then you ask him, hey, you know that guy you idolize all the time? Oh, yeah. Run his offense for me at LSU. Seriously? That's what you want me to do? Okay, done. And I'll bring you home a championship. I mean, he has every right to be cocky. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, be a little humble. You know what I mean? Be thankful for the fact that, you know, you were handed what you were handed.
Patrick, you're saying being humble coming from you. You know that's he was
a lot in 3 years. And, you know, running a hair salon will change you. Look, it changes you a lot. But man, Joe Burrow, it was a season made for him in LSU, and there was no beating him. I mean, the closest game they had all season was against Auburn, and they only won by 3. It's just a season built for him. So I don't know what else that kid could do except for go number 1 in the draft to Cincinnati.
And I mean, from all indications, I think him being drafted by Cincinnati, because I'm with you too. I mean, I think Cincinnati is taking him number 1 in the draft. He's an Ohio kid, grew up there. I think he wants that. He wants to be the face of that franchise. So one of those homegrown. Well, I guess depending on where exactly from Ohio is from, maybe he was closer to the Browns than the Bengals. I don't know, but I mean, the fact that he can play at home, yeah, like the fact he can play at home and have a hand in trying to bring a team in his home state back to prominence, that I think he'll be ready for that role. I think he's ready to take that on. But as for LSU as a team themselves, Patrick, there was no backing into this. They beat 7 7 top 10 teams at the time they played them. Yeah, 7 at the time they played them. Texas, Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Clemson. They beat all those teams when they were ranked in the top 10. And I mean, there's this is one of those things where it was no debate. Like LSU was the best team all year, and they proved it on the field. So congratulations to them. They have a mass exodus going on because there's a lot of people going to the draft. So we'll see how LSU replaces all that. But you know, LSU is always amongst the top in recruiting classes anyway. So they'll be ready to reload. We'll see what they do at the quarterback situation. I don't know who exactly is behind Joe Burrow right now, but I think
they got a couple of good kids.
Yeah, and I think LSU will be fine, man. I mean, they have a lot of talent, lots of talent. They'll be fine. And Eddie O, go Tigers! He ready to go. I think he got him ready, man. He looked like he kind of on that path that Dabo Swinney for Clemson was going back a few years, where he just kind of continued to build the team, and then bam, they're here. And now they're always competing for national titles. Now, granted, LSU plays in the SEC, so we know that's going to be tough to stay up there consistently, but I think LSU has the foundation in place now to where they can compete with Alabama consistently, can compete with Georgia consistently, can compete with whoever else, Auburn consistently. And going into next year real quick, man, you got Lane Kiffin coming to Ole Miss. You have Mike Leach going to Mississippi State.
When that's
fun, dude. Last week. Yes.
That's going to be interesting.
Dude, yeah, he left Washington State to take the job at Mississippi State.
How much did Mississippi State pay him?
I don't know. I didn't see the contract, but I just kind of heard the announcement. I was listening to the radio, and yeah, he's going to Mississippi State. And dude, Lane Kiffin going to Ole Miss, I think is pretty interesting because I think Lane Kiffin has learned some stuff. I don't think this is going to be one of those disasters like it was in Knoxville with Tennessee. I think he's a little bit. I think he's a little bit more humbled, a little bit more seasoned. I think Ole Miss will have the Mississippis will have a few good teams in there. I think. I'm not saying they will compete with Alabama and LSU and Georgia, but they'll be interesting.
We'll see. I'm not a huge fan on Lane Kiffin because what he did to Tennessee.
That was awful.
But we'll see. We'll see.
All right, man. Well, hey, anything else to add to the national championship game? All right. Well, let's move on to.
Oh, I do have something to say.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
And we can move on to the next topic right after I say this. To all you fans who keep blaming losses on the refs, get over it. It's not the refs' fault that your team keeps losing. It wasn't the refs' fault that Clemson lost. That was a targeting call. It was called right. So get over it. It's not the refs' fault. Your team lost because your team could not step up. You don't hear me blaming Georgia, or as a Georgia fan, you don't hear me blaming all the refs because LSU came in and whipped our butt. You don't. They were a better team. They beat us. We could not handle them. We could not keep up with them. It wasn't the refs' fault. So stop blaming the refs.
Oh, you just wait till we do that show on that stuff that just annoys us. You just wait.
It annoys me so bad.
Oh, by the way, that show is coming, people. So yeah, be on the lookout. That's
hashtag be ready.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, hashtag episode coming up too. Or the second one. But all right, well, let's move on to the NFL, and we have our Final Four, or the NFL's version of the Final Four set. So in the AFC, you will have the Tennessee Titans. Surprising to a lot of us, including myself, but they are there in the AFC Championship game, playing the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium. That'll be the first game.
Tannehill?
Huh?
Tannehill? Come on.
Tannehill. Dude, He been doing this thing. I got to give him his credit. And you know me, I've been saying this dude's trash forever, but he's doing all right. And
yeah,
then
as long as you hand it to Henry, you're fine.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, 35 times. And then you
or pass it to him, or let Henry pass the ball and take away your touchdown. Yeah.
And then you have
he bowled them too.
And then you have the NFC Championship game where you have the Green Bay Packers playing the San Francisco 49ers. So, of course, the winner of these two games go to Super Bowl 54 in Miami. So, Patrick, let's begin with the AFC Championship game. Who do you have and why?
I have the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's because I don't believe in Tannehill. No, Kansas City is just, I mean, to me, Kansas City is a better team. Look, Tennessee they're playing well. In a lot of cases, I feel they are a one-man show with Derrick Henry. But I mean, at the end of the day, Henry's not going to have the ball in his hand every single time. It's going to be Tanner Hill, whatever his name is.
I think it's Tannehill. I've been saying Tannehill.
Every time I hear you say it's Tannehill, so I always call him Tannehill.
Yeah, I mean, it might as well be Tannehill. It's spelled Tannehill. I always called him Tannehill, but I think it's actually pronounced Tannehill.
Okay, so Tannehill will screw up somewhere, and I feel that it's going to be the Kansas City. I feel Kansas City has a better offense with Patrick Mahomes and the way he runs that offense. He's quick. He's a dual threat. And I think that offense fires. I just think that offense fires on more cylinders than Tennessee's does, and Tennessee has the ability to give up a lot of touchdowns, give up a lot of points. So I mean, I think I got Kansas City winning this game, probably somewhere with the score of like 34-24.
Patrick, I think you're going to be surprised by me on this, man.
No, you're going with Kansas City. I know you are.
I'm going to Tennessee, man. I think Tennessee, yeah, dude, I like how they are playing, man. And I don't think Kansas City can stop Derrick Henry. Kansas City's defense is still suspect to me. And I think a lot of people are saying, well, Kansas City has an improved defense. Well, I mean, if we want to use an analogy, then we can go back to college and look at Oklahoma's defense. And everybody said Oklahoma has an improved defense. So what? They went from giving up 45 points a game to giving up 38 points a game. That's just like graduating from that's like a F- to a F+. I mean, it's not doing anything for me. Now, I think Kansas City, their defense is improved. I'm not going to sit here and say they're not improved, but I just like the way Tennessee is coming together, man. And I still have a tough time trusting Andy Reid in playoff situations. I understand what they did last week against the Houston Texans, scoring 28 points in pretty much 7 minutes or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever.
But
I couldn't
Houston
believe they won that game either, because Houston dominated on the entire game. And I mean, I think that was like 24-0, and they ended up winning 28-24. I was like,
they took that lead at the end of the second quarter. The final score was 51-31. Like, this was they put half 100 on Houston after they took the 24-0 lead. So we know the Chiefs' offense is very, very explosive. But here's the thing with Tennessee that I like. Tennessee knows they can beat Kansas City. They beat them earlier in the regular season. Now, granted, regular season and playoffs are different things. I do think Kansas City is better now than they were then, but I think Tennessee was better now than they were then too. Also, Kansas City went to Arrowhead Stadium and knocked the Chiefs out 2 years ago there. So I say that because they're not going to be intimidated by that home crowd. We know Arrowhead Stadium is one of the loudest places, maybe in all the sports, to play at. They get hyped up in Kansas City. Tennessee, I don't think will be intimidated by that. And we know what they're going to do. We know they're going to try to come with Derrick Henry. And I think this will be the difference. I believe Tannehill. I'm having a tough time saying this, probably, but I think Tannehill will make enough plays. I think to keep on. I know you don't think so, but I think he'll make enough plays. I think he could make some play after play because Kansas City is going to try to stuff that box, and he will have one-on-one matchups. He should be able to take advantage of, and I think Tennessee can do enough to slow down Kansas City's offense. They can get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. They can devise a pretty good game plan to at least contain them. Not going to stop Kansas City. They have
so you're telling me that we're going that let's just say because it kind of sounds like, okay, Kansas City stuffs the box. They're going to try to take Derrick Henry's run away. Let's say they're successful at that. Do you really trust that Tannehill has what it takes, knowing his track record, knowing that he will throw more interceptions than touchdowns? You're going to sit here and tell me that you feel comfortable putting the ball in Tannehill's hands to make the plays?
Well, I think it's a better situation. In Miami, he wasn't in the best situation. Miami was pretty garbage. Now, that's not
to matter what the situation is, Charles. I mean, to me, when you look at Tannehill's track record, no matter who your wide receivers are,
so people can't improve though.
Defense.
So people can't improve though. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like
Tannehill, no.
Oh, okay. So you just so you just go ahead. You just gonna put it.
Call it what it is.
Well, but the thing is, I mean, he's played a lot better, and it does help when you have that hammer back there. So there's going to be some opportunities for him to make those plays. He has to make those plays, though. Obviously, if he doesn't, then yeah, Kansas City could win this bad boy by 20. I believe.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is just me playing devil's advocate. You're the head coach of Tennessee. I'm the head coach of Kansas City. I am successful at taking Derrick Henry away. You are going to be 100% comfortable putting the ball in Tannehill's hands to make the play.
Maybe not 100% comfortable, but I mean, but I don't really have a choice at that time because
and I get that. But see, that's what I'm trying to get at is I think that where you say he's going to have enough to make the plays, I think that gives him the opportunity to make more mistakes because this is what he's known for. He's known for throwing it to the defense, not to the offense. He's known for, I mean, and granted, yes, and I'll even go on the argument that you said he has a better offense in Tennessee than he does in Miami. Totally agree with you there. But this is playoff football. And you come into my house and you beat me, you're not beating me again. And that's what I'm gonna go on. So I see where you're coming from because let me tell you, Tennessee has played phenomenal up until this point.
I hear you, man. I mean, look, and if you're picking Kansas City, I totally understand it. And I mean, look, Vegas, of course, has them. I think they're 7.5, 8-point favorites. Look, I would play those odds. I would pick Tennessee. If I was in Vegas, I'd play it. But we don't care about odds here. We're just picking straight up.
If I was in Vegas, I'd pick Tennessee because if I do win, I cash out.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, where are we going for the after party, right?
Exactly. Where's the after party at? Because when Tennessee wins, or if Tennessee wins, I'm going. But no, I would have to say, no, Kansas City's going to win.
So you got Kansas City 34-24. I have Tennessee 27-24. I think it will be very close. But I just think it's something about this Tennessee team, man. I think they're playing on a level where they just not caring. Like they're ready to go. They're ready to do this thing. Now, of course, if Kansas City does
pack their bags and head back to the house.
Yeah. Well, all right, Patrick. Well, then let's move on to the NFC Championship game. Green Bay and San Francisco. So we got Green Bay, San Fran. They were both 13-3 finishing out the season. And they obviously won their wild card games. San Francisco is a 7.5-point favorite. Who do you have in that one?
Man, I went back and forth on this one. I'm going Green Bay. But dude, I want San Francisco to win so bad because this is one of those seasons that, I mean, nobody expected San Francisco to even come out 7-9, dude. I mean, they weren't expecting to go. They weren't expecting to do anything. And then when they hit that 8-0 record, bro, I was like, this team is special. There's something about them. I would love to see them. I mean, honestly, I would love to see them go all the way and win the Super Bowl. Many reasons why. Such a good season for them. They haven't had anything to look forward to in years. But man, it's Aaron freaking Rodgers, and he's a hard person to bet against, man, especially in times like this. 34-30. I got Green Bay winning.
Now, Patrick, you know.
I know who you got.
Now, yeah, you everybody knows I'm a 49er fan, so y'all know where I'm going with this. But Patrick, I do remember a time where you did pick against Aaron Rodgers in this same situation.
Hey, yeah.
3 years ago. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, when they were playing the Falcons. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just making
and I'll do it again.
And I'll do it again.
And
come at me. I'm a man. I'm 37.
I'll Andrew Biden that all day long. Yeah, I shot it. And I'll do it
again. No, so yeah, look, man, you know me. Yeah, I have the 49ers and I got them winning solidly. I think they'll win by 10 or 14 points. Yeah, I think the 49ers have a better team. Now, I will say this, Aaron Rodgers, when you have that guy, just like you said, when you have that guy, you always have a chance. You are never out of a game when you have that guy. I do think there's a lot of people, honestly, I think it's pretty stupid opinions, honestly. If you're going to have the opinion of, oh, Aaron Rodgers, he just can't throw the ball like he used to anymore. Seriously, give me a break. He's a game manager now. Who cares? He's winning games. Who cares?
Come from ESPN?
Mostly.
Mostly. All right. So your information is not validated. Okay.
Yeah. but the thing is, look, Aaron Rodgers has a better team around him. The defense is better for Green Bay. They've been able to run the ball a little bit better. Aaron Jones has, I think, 21 touchdowns this year, rushing. I mean, they have a more complete team. And I guarantee you, if Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or Drew Brees had some of the teams Tom Brady has had the privilege of playing with, they would have more Super Bowl rings. Just saying. Because Tom Brady wasn't always this guy who was just putting up all these numbers either. Nothing against Tom Brady. Nothing against Tom Brady at all. He's good. But
not now. Not after what, 2013, that season?
Yeah, well,
we gave him such a hard time, and then he put together that season.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Tom Brady's a beast, man, and but he's been able to have some good teams around him, so where he doesn't necessarily have to carry the load. These other quarterbacks have been asked to carry the load, and now Aaron Rodgers has a team that can help him get to the NFC Championship game, and now all of a sudden he can't throw it like he used to. Give me a break, man. It's stupid. It's your garbage hot take garbage mess. But what
clickbait crap.
Clickbait, exactly. But just kind of looking at the game though, like I said, we know Aaron Rodgers, he's still that guy. He can still throw the ball, wing it with the best of them. Off platform throws, he's still very, very dangerous. I just think that 49ers defense is hungry. They're coming at him. That defensive line with Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Forrest Buckner, D Ford, them boys, they're going to be teeing off. And the secondary is solid with Richard Sherman and Jimmy Ward, Barsky Tart, all them boys. The linebackers with Fred Warner. They got Quan Alexander back. And then the offense, they can match it. Because, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo, same thing. Take care of the ball, be all right. got a good three-headed monster there at running back with Tevin Coleman, Raheem Mostert, and Matt Breida. You got George Kittle to throw to, Daniel Sanders. I just think the 49ers are the better team, man. And that pressure is going to be coming at Aaron Rodgers all over the place. So unless they have a plan, which I'm sure they will put up something where they can do some bootlegs, get the ball out of his hands quickly, don't let that defensive line tee off. I think they can look, it won't be the 37-8 beatdown the 49ers put on them earlier this year. It won't be that. I'd be very surprised if it was that. But I still think the 49ers are good enough to beat them by 10 or 14 points because I just think they're just better. And obviously I'm a 49er fan, so I was right to say that.
Look, dude, they did a fantastic job putting that team together. And don't get me wrong. I mean, honestly, if it's one of those classic games where either the 49ers are going to put a beat down on them or Green Bay's going to win by a field goal. And honestly, I don't get me wrong. When I tell you I went back and forth on this game, I mean, I literally went back and forth. Like, I was about 50-50 for about 3 days. I just didn't know. I mean, because, like I said, man, I want the 49ers to win because it's been such a long time since they have been such a dominant team. And this year, it's good to see that. It's good to see that. You know what I mean? But, like I said, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, man, I mean, he's like, but I don't know if ESPN is saying this crap about this man cannot throw. Well, I think he threw like several 70+ yard touchdowns this year. Just saying. This man can't throw like he used to. He doesn't need to. He has 4 wide receivers that are just freaking phenomenal. He doesn't
have a running game.
And they got a running game with them. So, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I went back and forth on this game for days. But I feel Green Bay has enough to scrape a win and make it to the Super Bowl.
All right, man. Well, my final score, I'm going 34-20. San Francisco winning this game. And man, all right, Patrick, we disagree on both of these picks. What? All right, man. Well,
we disagree on both of them if you come to your sense about that Kansas City Tennessee game.
Well, I feel like you should come to your senses about that Green Bay San Francisco game, but that's all right though. It's cool.
Touche.
Well, Patrick, let's get to these last couple of topics here, man. So let's talk about the retirement of Carolina Panthers linebacker Luke Kuechly. So he walked away from the game after 8 seasons in the NFL and 28 years old. I mean, on this one, dude, I don't really have too much on this one except to say I wouldn't call it a troubling trend, but it's definitely a trend of NFL players in their mid to late 20s to late 30s looking at life after football and saying they want to be able to walk away with everything still intact. Now, as we know with Luke Kuechly, he's had at least a couple of concussions in his career and a couple of other nagging injuries. So I'm sure he walked away. He was thinking about it, and he just said, "Man, I'm out. You know, I made a good amount of money. I'm just kind of trying to look out for myself and my family, and I'm ready to play or ready to kind of walk away from it. I feel good with this decision." You saw this with Andrew Luck. You saw this with Rob Gronkowski. You saw this with a couple of 49ers linebackers back in the day. Patrick Willis walked away early, and the other dude, Chris Borland, walked away at 25 years old.
Calvin Johnson walked away pretty early. Calvin Johnson.
Yep, same thing. And a lot of these dudes were either in the prime of their careers or just entering. So, I mean, I think that's the trend that's going on, and I can't blame them for it, man, because as much as I like football, as much as I'll say football is my favorite sport, man, it's high contact, high collision. It's a high impact sport. And with everything that has come out with the research against CTE, TBIs, traumatic brain injuries, I think these players are looking at that and they want to take care of themselves. They want to take care of their bodies. They want to take care of their minds. And they're looking at life after football. That's the main thing. It's the big picture. So I think that totally drove the decision for Luke Kuechly to walk away. And speaking of the Panthers, I still wouldn't be surprised. And this is about Luke Kuechly, so I don't want to interject anybody in here. But I wouldn't be surprised if Cam Newton decided to walk away either. He doesn't look like a guy who looked like he was ready to continue playing. I could be wrong about that. I probably am wrong about that. I mean, I think he'll continue to play, but I think there's some thoughts going through his head too. So, what's your thoughts on Luke Kuechly? And if you want to throw something in about Cam, do that too.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him. Look, it's the players nowadays. They're much smarter than the players, and I don't want to say this in any degrading way whatsoever. The players nowadays, they know how to spend their money. Is where I'm going at, and these players that are retiring early from NFL, they probably have 3 or 4 lines of income at this point, whether it's be real estate or they own their own business, flipping houses or cars or whatever the case may be. So they're investing their money. So football is not their only line of income like it used to be back when, our parents and those type of generation. These kids nowadays, these millennials, these kids, they push for multiple lines of income. I think it's a genius. I mean, I think it's very smart, and it's really taking care of themselves, and that's what it's about. If you could get into as well as I do, Charles, you'd do the same thing probably. I mean, I'm not going to say you would stay in football forever, but if you made 65-70 million dollars over a course of 8 years, you'd probably be like, you know what, I was in the NFL, I'm good. Start you a I don't know, maybe start you a webcast of talking about sports and ask one of your friends to help you with it. I don't know, maybe that's what you would do. I don't know. But I mean, I know if it was me, I mean, I love the sport of baseball, love the sport of football. And if that's what took me to get my start so that I can invest in other small businesses, invest in some real estate, do those kind of things. If it only took me 8 years, I'd probably retire at that point too. So no, I don't blame him. And then on the Cam Newton thing, I'd agree with you, man. I think he's about done too. He just looks like a person that does not want to be hit anymore. And Carolina's not investing in an O-line. So if that's the case, then Cam is probably looking at if y'all not investing in an O-line, then I think it's about time for me to retire too. So, but I mean, either way, it wouldn't surprise me either way, because I know Cam has his investments set in too, because, from things that I've read, it sounds like he's pretty invested in some other businesses as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if he gave up too.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think we're pretty much in agreement with it, man. I mean, look, I'll just say this to top it off, man. Hey, props to Luke Kuechly there, because this is a tough decision. And if you've been playing football for a while, you've gotten used to the lifestyle of getting ready to compete at a high level, get in there every Sunday or whichever day you're playing. You've gotten used to this routine, and it's just something about being part of something like that, where you start to love it and you start to really grab an appreciation for it. So for him to say that I'm ready to kind of walk away and look at life after football, that's huge. Like, that's props to him, because that's a tough decision, and it definitely isn't a popular decision from a lot of the masses. And we know how people are. When it's not the popular decision, it's kind of one of those things that get frowned upon. But this was a tough decision, and I give him credit for saying, I gotta look the other way. So just like what those other players did, and props to Luke Kuechly, great career. I mean, 8 seasons he put in there, and he was one of the top 3 linebackers in the league the whole time he was in, pretty much. So yeah, props to him, man. Anything you want to add before we move on to your favorite topic?
Oh God, no, let's just go ahead and get that.
All right, let's get it, man. So, Patrick, who's your favorite football player in the world?
Warwick Dunn.
Warwick Dunn. Okay, who's your favorite player in the world that's actually playing? Say it. You say
He's not.
We are talking. So for
OBJ.
those of y'all who have followed the webcast, y'all know Patrick loves, and when I say love, I mean despise, Odell Beckham Jr. And Odell Beckham Jr. has been in the news because apparently after the LSU game, of course he's an LSU alum, but after the LSU game when they beat Clemson, he can be seen handing out money. The school and some of the other people in the know have tried to play damage control, saying it was fake money. I don't know why Odell would ever walk around, or anybody else for that matter, would walk around with fake money. But that's the thing they tried to spin to us. And then apparently they were novelty bills, quote unquote. Like, how does that even sound? Like, what is that? What is a novelty? What's a novelty bill?
Oh God, he's been spending too much time in the kicker's net.
Oh my gosh. So this is what's going on with Odell Beckham Jr. And Patrick, look, man, I mean, I know how you feel about the guy, so I'll just go ahead and I'll just say this. This is a troubling trend that's happening because this is going on a level of, hey, look at me, I gotta do this, I have to stay relevant. Antonio Brown has gone down that same path. And look where he's at right now. He's out of the league, lawsuits everywhere, and everything was about him. Me, 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 me. I think this is getting close to that path with Odell Beckham Jr., man. And it is getting to the point where we know the man is talented, but is it with all the stuff that he does? And granted, he's not getting in trouble with the law. Oh well, okay, take that back. I mean, I guess he's slapping police officers on the ass. So now they want to bring something up there. Which why you do that? I don't know. Stupid, but
this guy.
it's getting ridiculous, man. And I think this is kind of becoming a little bit of a troubling trend because it's getting to the point where it might get in danger of spiraling out of control with this guy. I mean, first it's on the field troubles. Now stuff's kind of starting to come on the field, and you're going out here, you're handing out money, which is, I mean, it's pretty much a clear violation of NCAA things. So, although the NCAA doesn't even know their own rules, but Patrick, what do you think, man? I mean, I just think this is troubling to me, man. I don't know.
Charles, what can I say that I haven't already said about this man?
Not much.
Not much.
But say it again.
But I'll say it again. He's a nuisance. He's cancerous to a team. No matter where he goes, he's cancerous to the team. He's just like Antonio Brown, and I'll bring this up because Antonio Brown just he can't keep his mouth shut, you know. And there was T.O., another one, Terrell Owens. He can't keep his mouth shut. And at what point do you look at this and say, you know what, I gotta stop because my career is going to go down the toilet? Man, look, fans, go back and watch some of the other ones. You'll know how I feel about him. He's an idiot. He's a straight up idiot. And I mean, don't get me wrong. He brings me tons of entertainment, especially when he's looking at other players' butts and biting his. Oh yeah, bro, it's cool. It's funny to me. Or the time where he trips over the kicker's tee into the net and then proposes to the net. Idiot.
Hey, you can't forget, Patrick. So since you're gonna bring that up, you cannot forget where he took his helmet, he hit the net, and the net punched him back. Can't forget about
that. Yeah. And okay, so he takes off his helmet and hits the net and it punches him back. And, and he looked at the net like it was his best friend. Bro, and then the best one of all, talks about, what's the song? Sexual healing in a hot tub full of men. I mean, the dude, or hey, how about this one? The one where he's at the nightclub and they won't let women into his circle. How about that one? Bro, it's like this, man. It's as simple as this. Odell needs to keep his mouth shut, keep his money in his pocket, and play the game. I mean, he's getting the opportunity to play a game for millions of dollars where most people wish they were at. I don't know why he has to keep. Why does this trends keep coming up over and over again with the same players? Antonio Brown, he has to keep his penis in his pocket, so and stop doing the things that he was doing. But here we are talking about all these sex allegations that he has to go through because he has money. Shut up, bro. Nobody cares. Just perform on the field where you get paid and go home and shut up. Other than that, don't say nothing. Nobody wants to hear anything about you. We pick you for a fantasy league to make us a little bit of money. After that, shut up. Odell, same thing. Just shut up.
Hey, well, look, I can't really say it any better than that, Patrick. So I really don't have too much to say. Oh, by the way, if I do have to say this. Those videos that Patrick pointed out, just go on YouTube. They out there.
They're hilarious, man.
Oh man. Well, Patrick, that wraps it up for our first webcast with both of us together here in a while. So we appreciate all y'all who have watched. Make sure you guys, once again, I'm gonna use Patrick's slogan here. Go on to the YouTube channel, the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, where we're at right now, and smash the subscribe button right there. I'll see it. Go ahead and smash it. And then, of course, keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. And whichever forum it is, do not be afraid to leave any of these comments. Let us know how we're doing, good, bad, or indifferent. And we will definitely have no issues getting right back with you. We have some other shows coming up, some other projects in the works. We got to do the second hashtag episode that we're going to get in there. We're going to have some new segments. We got our Dookie Look segment, trash segments. We got all kinds of stuff coming. So we're glad to be back. Am I missing anything, Patrick?
Nah, man, you covered it all.
All right. Well, to everybody who checked out the show, everybody take care. We will talk to y'all later on this week, if not next week. If we don't talk to you next or this for the rest of this week, everybody enjoy the championship games that are coming up this weekend, and
check out them.
And just have a good weekend in general. Everybody take care, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.